we're all human. You can't change everything about yourself all at one time. You have to pick and choose and go, okay, well, what can I do here? Like if you look at BJ Fogg, if he's like, I'm frustrated because I'm working on this project and I'm not sleeping enough, so I want to sleep better. He actually was like, okay, how are all the different ways I could sleep better? Well, he's not going to do all of those things. He actually, to make a habit, had to go, what are the 3 easiest things of what I just came up with that I want to do? And then how can I do that?
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the hilariously intentional convo I had with Launa Jae in our last episode. If you haven't listened to that one, you've missed the fuck out.
You totally missed out.
It's so good. I mean, we're 2 good friends, so that's always a fun conversation to be in, but also she just has the most hilarious way of putting things in a way that just makes you stop and take it all in, and we are just obsessed with her. So anyway.
Yes, 100%.
If you're not following her on Instagram, you are missing out because her stories are my favorite. Every morning to this day, she still does good morning to everyone except, and it's something. And then there's other people who also do this and tag her. And so she reposts theirs and I just die laughing. It's so anyways, you gotta go follow her. I promise you, it's really great. And she gives great tips and great hacks on getting protein in your life, because all you ladies over 40, it's a fucking feat to get enough protein every day.
And if you're watching YouTube, I'm wearing a shirt you referenced.
Oh, that's so funny. What great timing.
Yeah. Punch nails.
We should have that guy.
Paint nails, punch Nazis.
We should have that guy on the pod.
We should have that guy on the pod.
Yeah. We should send him.
We'll work that out.
His name, I think, is Jonathan Gregory or Gregory Jonathan. It's one of those handles that I'm like, he must have gotten famous after he made this weird handle. So yeah, we got to get him on. Okay, let's get back to, well, first we're going to talk a lot of, first we're going to talk about how today is June 5th, my dad's birthday.
Oh, it is your dad's birthday.
Brad, he's like, oh my God, all these days. It's like this person's from the reality TV show day. And I'm like, how does that person have a day? I don't have a day.
It was Veggie Burger Day. And at the same exact day, Sausage Roll Day. I was like, did they do that on purpose? I think they did.
I think Launa Jae would agree that you could have a veggie burger or a sausage roll. If you are doing your protein right, you can. But today is happy birthday, Dad. You are 73.
73.
Way to go. But it's also World Environment Day. This day urges all of us to protect our natural surroundings. The stunning facts: an estimated 7 million people die each year from causes related to air pollution, with the majority occurring in the Asian Pacific region. This day encourages worldwide activism. That means everything from littering to climate change. World Environment Day is both a global celebration and a platform for public outreach. You guys, plant plants that are local to your freaking place. That is one of the best things you can do. You know, it's really great because in the water, we live in Vegas. We are increasingly aware of our water, what plants we have on windy days. You got to go out there and pick up the trash. Like, take care of the world around you. It's really hard when you think about like, oh my God, the global warming. We can't fix everything. So you got to at least get your neighbors on board. How much water are you using? How much are you planting? How much trash are we throwing away?
Yeah.
You know?
Get rid of your grass in your front yard. You don't need it.
Yeah, get rid of it. Also, it doesn't even absorb water. There was a whole episode on the Love It or Leave It podcast years ago about how actual grass is not trapping water. So that was news to me.
Yeah, you know.
Educate yourself on little things you can do.
Well, it's a hill that the city of Vegas is dying on. They enacted a law that says you have to, by 2026, I think all front yards have to be non-grass.
Yeah. We got a neighbor, you guys, their grass is so green all year long, and it is infuriating to me. It's infuriating to me. First of all, when I walk the dog in the morning, though the sidewalk is soaking wet because of how they water. Mm. And how they water is why their grass is so green. And it's not like a little yard. It's like a full-on 1/8 of an acre of grass. It's perfectly green.
I know exactly what house.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And because they water so much, there's something wrong with their sidewalk. It's literally slippery. You can literally slip while walking. And I'm just like, I can't wait till this grass is gone. I'm going to report you. Yeah. January 1st, 2026, first day I see that grass. My neighbor has grass.
I don't know if it's Jan 21. Or
I'm
Jan
gonna be.
1st, but
I'm gonna be that Karen. That's the Karen I'm gonna be.
that's the Karen I'm
If
gonna
you
do
got
now.
fucking front yard grass, I'm coming. Anyways, these are the things we can do, and educate yourself on your water usage, but also just like what you can do in your environment. You know, we all can't drive electric cars, all that. It's not, don't worry about the things you can't do. Focus on the things you can. And it actually feels really great. Okay. Oh, we have events. You guys, we're going on tour.
Yeah. We got a lot going on.
You'll hear more about that soon, but the tickets are already for sale. They've been for sale for a couple weeks.
Yep.
And it's a huge summer tour. It's not a small summer tour. It's a huge summer tour, but the spaces are limited because when you go to cities on the West Coast, what you will learn, like some places in the Northeast, is that rent is hard and expensive. And so spaces are small, which means space is limited. So you want to get in on this tour and snag your spots and the classes and the workshops before they sell out. opc.me/events.
opc.me/events.
Also, I really think our tour shirt is epic.
It's a really cool tour shirt. I'm very excited about it.
Yes, this is my new favorite thing. I look up tour shirts from other things, and then I tell the team, do this. And I don't think anyone notices what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. And then in September, you guys, we're going to be in the UK. Leeds only has a few spots left. Essex, we actually opened up the opportunity to do day spots. So you can either do the full day Tuesday, the full day Wednesday. You want to go to opc.me/UK. And again, also not very many spots. So if you do the full weekend pass or 2-day pass, you get 6 workshops, 2 classes. But if you do the day pass, you get 3 workshops and a class. So you want to snag those spots because we're not coming back for quite a bit. Not because we don't like you. Just
don't know when.
Don't know when.
Do not know when.
That's how the world goes.
Last time we waited 2 years.
Yeah. Also, before summer tour and UK, I'm hosting a workout and a Q&A session for teachers. This is for Pilates teachers who are interested in my mentorship program. We are more than half sold out at the time that we are recording this. In fact, there's actually not a lot of spots in next year, but we're going
there's less than 9 spots left.
Yeah. So less than 9 spots, and we're going to have
that because I'm talking to a handful of people and there are currently 9 and I think they're going to be booked. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Go to leslielogan.co/elevate waitlist to get on the waitlist to get the information about the free class and the Q&A session. If you are someone who wants to take the class and ask questions, that's going to be great. If you're someone who's like, I want in on this, I don't want to wait. Well, you know how to hunt us down because that's clearly how it's filling up behind closed doors. But leslielogan.co/elevate waitlist is for comprehensively trained teachers who want to not freaking talk so much, be in imposter syndrome, overwork themselves out, all the things. Yeah, come and join us. Okay, Brad, your turn.
All right. So I'm very excited to make this special announcement. We have decided to bring back Agency Mini.
I know, you guys, this is really exciting. We said, no, it's done. And it actually, the Agency Mini, and was very loved.
Is still done.
It's still done. This is a new mini, new and improved.
This is a mini.
It's it is a mini, an mini, mini. And that is because we took all the things people loved about mini and got rid of all the things people didn't love about mini. So no more Facebook groups. No more 7 days, no more overwhelm. This is a 3-day mini. You're going to get a workshop on day 1. You have homework on day 2. You will have a group call on day 3.
Yep.
There's a couple extra days of replays you'll have some access to, and that's it. And it's awesome. Quick,
easy, and effective, and really exciting. What we're going to be digging into is some of the foundational marketing things that you need to know on how to attract your own clients. Like, how do I attract the right clients for me? Clients that I actually want to work with, clients who pay me without complaining, clients who show up on time. How do I do all of that, right? And we're going to dig in. I cannot wait. This is one of the favorite topics that Lesley and I have spoken on over the years.
And even if you're like, oh, I slay at my marketing. If you don't actually have the clients you want to be teaching or people who treat you or making the money you want to make, you need to be at this mini because we're going to actually fill in the holes where you're like, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, that's the thing. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So by the time this comes out, I think we're still on the wait list, believe it or not. So
the early bird will be opening in the next week or 2. So you probably want to go to prfit.biz/mini to get on the wait list.
Yeah.
And, or if it's open, you'll see how to buy in right there. It's going to be in July, the middle of July, before we take off on tour. And it's going.
Early bird is $25.
Yeah.
So don't miss it.
Don't miss it, because we don't want you to actually pay the full price. That's why we have the early bird. We want you to plan ahead.
60% off.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love how we did this out of calendar order today. But you know what? It keeps you on your toes.
What?
Well, we started with the tour,
which
is after Mini.
100%. We did.
Anyways, but for sure at the end of this year is Cambodia. In October, you guys, if this is your first time hearing about this and you've never heard about how amazing our retreat and Seam Reap is, it's amazing. If you have heard us every single week, you know it's amazing. And if you're like, oh, I really want to do this, come. I know everything is crazy and uncertain. Let me just tell you right now, the flight prices to Asia are the same whether you buy them today or 6 weeks before. Why? Because people have done that. I want you to go to crowsnestretreats.com to snag your spot, because the small group, we're taking a very, very small group this October. We want you there, and it's going to be such a great time to just get rid of all the chaos and be in the coolest place in the whole world.
It's so true.
We've been to a lot of places.
So cool. If you want to deep dive on that, go back a couple weeks and there's some solo episodes from Lesley and from me about our love for why we do this trip, all the things. So dig in on that. All right. Well, before we get any further, we had an audience question. So at Emily Anahata from YouTube asks, hey, how do I know which chair is the right for me? And I'm assuming she's talking about a Pilates chair. Yeah. What are some questions I can ask myself to get a better idea? Thank you. And I am going to jump in. I'm just going to say, traditionally, you want a chair that has 4 legs, right? And then maybe a seat. That'll be good. That's the kind of chair you want. Those are great questions. Does it have 4? You might be able to get away with 3, but I don't think 2 is going to cut it.
No. Yeah, the 3, that's more like a stool.
That's a stool.
Yeah. Okay, so this is really great. And actually, she followed up with some really interesting questions, which is that she's heard that, like, should she get a split pedal, exo chair, should do this? And so I actually followed up with, like, are you a teacher? So here's the deal. What I know, so I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. If you're a teacher, then you actually should get the chair that best suits your style of teaching. And what I often see teachers do is they get a chair that they can afford versus a chair that was designed for their style of teaching.
Right.
So Emily's not a teacher. So the split pedal, if you were trained to teach on split pedals, if you like to teach on split pedals, then get a chair with split pedals, because you'll be annoyed that the pedal doesn't split. It doesn't do what you want. But if you are not trained on a split pedal, then the split pedal is actually going to be frustrating, because it's going to feel different, sound different than what you're used to. And Emily's not a teacher, so then it's just going to be confusing. And then she won't use the chair without having been trained on how to use the chair. And I want people who love Pilates to have access at home to equipment that they want and they can use, and it's not confusing. So this is not a knock against split pedals, exo chairs. Obviously, we know and love Balanced Body. We have affiliate links with them. We are dear, dear friends with the founders, and we are sponsored for the tour. So get that if you want to use it. But if you are just like, I want to get stronger, I want to work on my posture, I want to work on my strength, my suggestion is going to be the Contrology chair, because without seeing you, Emily, the dimensions are great for everybody. No matter if you're big or small, hypermobile, tall or short, the pedal angle is just really great.
It's also very solid.
It's really solid.
You're not going to have to worry about it, like, you know.
And it's not confusing. You don't have 4 springs to choose from. Like, I find that if you are not trained as a teacher on that equipment, it becomes confusing if there's lots of spring choices. It's 2 springs, 3 hooks on either side, really easy to figure out what you need to be doing. But for anyone listening, how do you know what chair is right for you? The easiest answer is like, I love a Contrology chair. You can stand on it. I could put a heavy person on it. I could put a tall person on it. It's going to be great. Put a short person on it.
I did a handstand on one.
Yeah, you totally did it, and it was fine. But questions to ask yourself are, is the pedal angle going to be appropriate for the height and flexibility of my hips? Right? Is the top of the chair big enough to support my full seat? Can I lay on it on my front? Can I lay it on my back? Does the chair feel sturdy? If I stand on top of it, if I go to step on top of it, does it feel like it's sturdy? Some of these chairs are really light. I've seen some interesting ones now that are floating around that are a few $100. I worry about the weight of the body. I'm not talking a larger body. I'm talking like just any body. So some questions to ask yourself are, can it withstand the weight of my body standing on it? And then can I adjust the spring's tension so that it meets me where I am? Or is it like kind of the same spring tension, whether you use like if you only have one or two. So anyways, those are some things to ask yourself, but always happy to give you my links, you guys, to anything that Balanced Body makes. And that's our Contrology line as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
Well,
I just want to say, I love that she's going to get herself a chair because everyone's so fucking obsessed with having a home reformer. And then they're like, I need it to fit under my bed. And it's like, no, if you have a small space, get a wooden chair, get a spine corrector, get a 2x4, get a sandbag, get a ped pole. So many things you can get yourself, and then you can go take a reformer at a studio, right? Okay.
I dig it. Well, look, stick around. We'll be right back.
Oh, Brad, hold on.
What?
You guys, we have a link for you guys to submit your questions because some of you have been like, how do I submit my questions?
Yes, we do.
Where do I submit them? And it is
We totally do.
beitpod.com/questions. You can also
beitpod.com/questions.
You can also submit your
Plural.
wins. There's a spot whether it's a question or a win. So beitpod.com/questions with the S at the end. And then
submit your win, submit your question.
Yep. Anything goes. Sometimes people Pilates related, anything goes.
Good
Okay.
job. Good.
Let's talk about
remembering.
Launa.
Stick around. We'll be right back as we're going to talk about shit and rainbows in just a minute. Okay, welcome back. Let's talk about Launa Jae. Launa is a Dallas-based nutrition and fitness coach who specializes in helping people get unstuck without feeling restricted. What does that mean? She is an anti-diet coach and a food freedom expert for high-achieving women. She's passionate about helping others make progress, stay accountable, and create sustainable results in both health and in life. And she's hilarious. Like hilarious.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
That's why the shit and rainbows come from. Also, you could even listen to her first episode being on here. Like there's just so many things that she says and her descriptive words are perfect.
Yes.
So one of the things that I love that she said is negative emotion is literally just an indication that you're out of alignment with who you are and your true inner being. Experiencing debilitating negative emotions that led to stress, and then that led to physical illness. And then she realized a common denominator of all of them was her. So she was prioritizing her to-do list over her well-being. So she would wake up, check emails, and prioritize her to-do list and not like what she needed. And it's so fun to see her. She's obviously switched this. And so you can actually see it in her Instagram if you follow her. She's like, well, I'm at the gym, didn't want to be here, but I'm doing the workout even though I didn't want to be here because she's prioritizing herself, right? She's making sure she gets what she needs. And so after doing all this, she was able, I love the self-reflection. I think that's really hard to do. So I love that she self-reflected. And then she concluded that these negative feelings signaled a disconnect between her actions and her authentic self. So who she was telling people what to do for themselves and then what she was doing for herself. When we have that dissonance, our brain doesn't like it. It is overwhelming and we get resentful and that's negative, right? So instead of just brushing off us having a bad day, she used those feelings as signals that something was out of alignment. And I think it's really cool. If you can figure out in your day and in your life, like, oh, when I feel like this, it's like a little yellow light. Hello. This is a sign you're out of alignment. You guys, at the park that I walk the dog at, every 30 minutes, this voice comes on these speakers.
It does?
Yes.
At our park?
Yes.
Like over the loudspeakers in the park?
Yes.
That's like creepy.
It's so fucking creepy. It's a little bit like in South Korea when I crossed the street when it was a red light and this Korean voice like came out of nowhere. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but I could, like in the US, I could cross the street right now. No one's coming. Anyways, this voice goes, dude. It's like, do ding ding. And then she goes, da 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 da. I don't know what she's saying. But the point of this whole story is like, find something in your day that can be a sign that like, oop, I've stepped over the line of being out of alignment. And it could go ding dong ding, ding ding ding.
I don't really know what's happening right now.
Listen, let me finish. You are out of alignment. You haven't prioritized yourself.
Like an elevator chime.
Yes, like an elevator chime, and then like a lovely.
You are out of alignment.
Yeah, a lovely one.
This to me is like a sci-fi movie where it's like, welcome to the ground floor. And then like, everything blows up.
Brad, you said you wanted a cold plunge, and you have not done that yet. Turn around. Go back in there. Take care of yourself first.
You will hate yourself later if you don't cold plunge now.
You're going to complain later and Leslie's going to roll her eyes. So she found her way of understanding that she's out of alignment. We all need a little flashing light, elevator sound, woman in the park. I wish I could tell
Dystopian
you what
woman in the
she's-
park
I wish I could tell you what she's
coming
saying.
at you from
Yeah.
surround sound.
It's really real. It's really weird. It's probably saying you're not supposed to be here right now.
I know, right? The park doesn't open until 6:15.
A park opens when the sun rises, and I'm there before it. So clearly, it's for me.
All right.
Anyways,
So here's what I really dug. She's talking about urgency culture. And I found that an interesting term because if it's culture, that means we created it, right? It's learned. I reflected a lot about this. Like, wow, there is a sense of we're only here on this planet one time. So I get that, like driving, like got to get things done, kind of a vibe. But also too, I think if you look at the difference between the United States and Europe on how people work, we work 40 hours a week. We never take vacations. We work when we're sick, all these kinds of things that are way different from a mentality, from a cultural perspective. The idea of urgency culture kind of scares me. That's not an exciting thing to think about. It also made me reflect on, how caught up am I in that myself?
oh yeah.
This idea of never taking any time off or constantly working. We're just listening to one of our coaches, Brad Bizjack.
He's going to be on the pod soon, guys.
Yeah, and
Stay tuned.
Awesome
Fall.
episode coming. Really excited about that. We were listening to one of his episodes on urgency and the importance of leaving yourself time off as well. So anyway, all this being said, with Launa Jae, she said, hey, we've created this never-ending to-do list, and it's stripping us from the human connection, from enjoying our day-to-day, from being present in the moment. It is funny. It's like we've decided we can, be quote unquote this efficient, so we can do these amount of things every day, whatever those things are, right? If you're working for a company, they always tell you schedule 80% of their expected work time because 20% something will get in the way and they won't actually be able to do all the things, but we still packed in that 80%, right? When we are thinking about our day in that manner, it doesn't leave any room for life to be like to happen, and also self-reflection. And I think that's when she's talking about stripping us from the human connection, enjoying the day to day, from being present in the moment, you have to reflect on the things that are happening to you. Like, for example, I wasn't in the best physical well-being on this day trip that we took, but we changed altitudes. I opened my water bottle and it exploded literally all over my lap. So and it wasn't a small amount of water. I was literally sitting in a puddle of water and I'm driving. That could have been hilarious, but I was upset about it. I was really frustrated.
I started to laugh in the background.
You did start laughing.
Because we have done this before. So to me,
I had no idea we changed altitude. It wasn't like a thing I could check, but the reality is it happened. And instead of it being funny, it was frustrating because I'm like, I have to drive, I have to do this. And I'm trying to take a drink of water and then boom. And instead of appreciating the hilarity of the moment, I didn't. When Launa Jae was talking about this, she explained we're constantly rushing to complete tasks and focusing solely on our to-do list, which is stripping us of being present. And by being intentional about what we're doing, right? So this intentionality she's talking about then, why are we doing what we're doing while we're doing it? It'll help us be more present in the moment. So now she's limiting distractions. She's trying to be in the moment more. And the number one thing she said is, especially because she works in social media, the number one thing she said is just limiting those notifications and hiding her phone. That allows her to stay present, stay in the moment, be having a conversation and thinking about the conversation she's having instead of constantly being interrupted. Even if you're not necessarily addressing it, you're still processing it. Your brain is still processing it in the moment. So I like that she's prioritizing peace and laughter. I think those are great things.
If you're a high achieving person or an ex-athlete or any of those things, I think it's so cool to listen to because we're all human. You can't change everything about yourself all at one time. You have to pick and choose and go, okay, well, what can I do here? Like if you look at BJ Fogg, if he's like, I'm frustrated because I'm working on this project and I'm not sleeping enough, so I want to sleep better. He actually was like, okay, how are all the different ways I could sleep better? Well, he's not going to do all of those things. He actually, to make a habit, had to go, what are the 3 easiest things of what I just came up with that I want to do? And then how can I do that? So that's how he talks about how you can make changes in your life. And so if you want to be more present, what are all the different ways you can be more present? Well, one of the things is to limit the notifications on your phone because you're less distracted, right? So I think it's just a really cool, you can start to see yourself in different things that Launa is explaining, and then you might be able to address it as well. I got an ad for a phone booth. a phone box. It's really beautiful wood, but
What is it?
it looks like it kind of looks like a Hobbit door. You know, like those old like how like in Harry Potter, like
Oh,
the
you
doors.
put your phone in it?
Yeah, and you open
Okay.
it up and there's these little slats and it could fit 6 phones. And then there's a hole in the back for a charging cable to come through. I looked at it, I was like, well, how much is this phone booth? Because that's kind of cute, like a place we could put our phones. We're not distracted. Like it's a cute little box. I mean, you could probably just put them in any kind of box, you guys. Because first of all, it was $75. I was like, I'm out on that. Second of all, you still have to put the cord through. So to me, the box should just charge my phone. So when that happens, then I don't want to have to find more cords. I'm over the cords. But at any rate, find a place to put your phone if you want to be less distracted.
Love it. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about those be it actions with Launa Jae. All right, so let's talk about those be it actions. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Launa Jae? She said, hey, being where you are, 10 toes down. First time she said it, I thought I understood what she said, but it took me a minute to like process it. Again, she's talking about really being present. She said, wherever those toes are, that's where your focus needs to be, right? She shared how this quote became a daily anchor for her to stay grounded in the moment instead of rushing from one task to another. I'm here, 10 toes down, right? It's a cool little phrase that allows you to be like, oh yeah, remind myself to be in the moment, to be here. She said it helps her stay present and ask herself, why am I doing the thing that I'm doing right now? Why am I doing this, right? I'm here. So my 10 toes are down here. Is this where I should be? Why am I doing what I'm doing, right? She also emphasized the importance of being intentional about your time and reflecting on the time that you're spending in different places. So she said this kind of purposeful focus gave her the space to reflect, process her emotions, and communicate more clearly, especially in moments of stress. So good for her. I think it's a cool little phrase, 10 toes down. She's good at those.
She's so good.
Yeah, like the horse pill without water.
She also said to stay curious. Everything can teach you more about yourself. I think this is so key because we might not like how we react to things. We might not like how something is going, but we can be curious about like, well, why don't I like that? Well, what's going on there? And there's so much information out there in this world today that you could probably figure out like, well, what is that saying? And like, what's going on? And so I think just everything, even the things we don't like, can teach us more about ourselves. In fact, I actually think the things not going right, things not going well, things that blow up in our faces, like they all kind of teach us a little bit more than like when everything goes really well. If everything is good all the time, you kind of often don't know as much about yourself. So I want to also encourage us to create awareness around where we are and get clear on where you want to go. So maybe take a second of like, okay, I'm going to this meeting. The goal of this meeting is X, Y, and Z. This is why I'm going to this meeting. This is what I want. And then have some clarity there and then be 10 toes down and reminding us that grace and consistency go a long way. That is very true. It actually is really hard to pick yourself up quickly if you're beating yourself up. The teams in sports that do the best don't focus on yesterday's loss. They focus on the goal of today. You know, so they learn from yesterday's loss. They watch tapes, they take feedback, but if they're beating themselves up over a wrong turn or a bad pitch, they're going to take that with them into the next game versus going, okay, today's game is to beat this team and this team is really good at X, Y, and Z. And when I'm up against that, this is what I know because you learned about yourself. So it all goes together and grace is going to help you be more consistent for sure. And she also said there's going to be really hard days. What matters most is what you do with them. And I think that's such a good reminder. You know, Launa Jae, you're so fun. You're so fabulous. You guys, I think you're going to really love listening to her episode if you haven't listened to already. Also, go back into the archives and grab another episode out of her if you really enjoy what she's saying and follow her because her stories are really fun.
Yeah, her first time on the pod was episode 53.
Whoa.
53.
And what episode is this?
533.
So that's
almost 500 episodes.
No, that's like 53 and 3. She's episode 53 and then 533. There's another 50. Alana, go play the 53 at the lottery, I think.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Kroll.
Oh my goodness. I was like, okay, Brad's going to wrap this up, but that's not how this goes. You guys know what to do. Leave us a review. Make sure you tell Launa Jae like what your favorite takeaways were, what maybe your favorite quip is. And share this with a friend who needs to hear it, like who needs a pep talk, who needs to slow down and like take in how they're doing things and be more present with themselves. That's how this podcast grows. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Beit Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at beitpod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.
Okay, guys, time to talk about shit and rainbows with Launa Jae.